Hello, I'm Kieran Hedges, and I'm honoured to have been invited to be an Awakenpedia partner. I guide people as they awaken to their own true nature, not by adding more stuff, including the spiritual stuff, but by helping to remove what still appears to be in the way of your limitless, peaceful, and unchanging self. Like many seekers, I began studying a traditional system of enlightenment, non-duality, and Vedanta. And the methods taught a really deep inquiry into the self and answers to the question, who am I? In fact, it was more of a system that dealt with the question, who do you think you are? For example, your mind, your body, your name, your role, etc., etc. And then using super sharp rational arguments explained why this limited perspective you have on being a little brain in a little body in a vast universe isn't true. Enlightenment was at the top of my priority list, even whilst raising a family and building a business. But something felt off, like I was circling around it, but I couldn't quite name it. So I went really deep. And for over a decade, I woke up most mornings at 4 a.m. to study, reflect, and try and understand this ancient knowledge more fully. And then in 2020, everything dropped. This idea of a separate, limited me dissolved, and what followed was weeks of what I can only call love. Not the experience of love, but being it. I was free of all limits. The outer world didn't fall away, it just became indistinct from the inner world. The seeking, the seeker, and the sought vanished. The only way to describe what was left was whole and present and complete. Maybe you're here because despite everything you've done, the meditation or the breath work, maybe the plant medicine or the yoga, something still feels off. Maybe you know that happiness can't be found out there, but you're also struggling to find it in here. Maybe when you're on the mat or deep in ceremony, you feel connected, but as soon as you open your eyes or go back into life or to your inbox, life is just as difficult. Maybe you've had a spiritual awakening. Maybe you've seen through the illusion of your separate self. You felt the bliss. But now you're encountering grief or resistance or even tragedy, and you're left wondering, this is not what I was taught. You're not doing it wrong, and you're not alone. This work is for you. I work with people at all stages of their journey. Some people are cracked open by an awakening and just don't know how to integrate it. Others are high achievers or successful and wealthy on paper, but inwardly there's still this sense that that is not it. Some people are just exhausted from trying to become somebody, to keep up this identity that they've built, even if that means their spiritual identity. Here's what I offer. I offer one-on-one clarity sessions for seekers at the threshold of something or people who are exploring their purpose. I offer a 5-week online course called Unfold for integrating awakening into daily life. I do talks, writings, and content across Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Quora under the name Kieran Hedges and Kieran Guides. My new book, for those who want to go a bit deeper, The Universe Undressed, will be released later this year. This work doesn't rely on rituals or robes or hierarchies, and there's no guru to fall at the feet of. There's no religion you have to follow. It just requires your sincere willingness to explore one question: who am I? One of the biggest insights I've had is this. We're often taught the goal is detachment, to rise above desire, to see this world as an illusion. But detachment is a method. It's not the destination. You're meant to see through the illusion of being a separate self. Yeah, but that's not the end. It's the in-between. The real work begins when you pour yourself back into life from the perspective of wholeness, not lack. Not by escaping the world, but by meeting it fully, intimately, exactly how it is. Not just in the ashram, not just on the mat, and not just in the concepts of your mind, in your work, in your relationships, in your creativity, and the messiness of being human. This is the real work where the rubber hits the road. My mission is to help guide people as they awaken to their own true nature. A shift that's not exclusive or esoteric and not some far off goal you have to achieve. It's available to anyone who's prepared to walk that razor's edge between losing themselves and finding themselves. I'm here for those who are waking up but feel lost in the after. For those who've started to see clearly but don't yet know how to live from that place. I'm here to remind you that you're not doing it wrong and you're not alone. That's why I wrote the book, The Universe Undressed, which just arose. It was not planned. If any of this resonates with you, you can find me here on Awakenpedia, or on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Quora under Kieran Guides or Kieran Hedges. I'm giving the first 50 email subscribers to my waitlist a free copy of my debut book when it's released later this year. I sincerely invite you to join me in this work. Thank you.